Hey girl, hey, happy Wednesday. Literally, I feel like literally every week. I'm not even really sure what day it is. And you know what it is? I used to do Maven Mondays. So I used to say, hey girl, hey, happy Monday. Boom, boom, boom. And that is my holdup every single time. My habit, new habits forming. If you don't know me, I'm Olivia Denton Thomas, the brand counselor, helping you go from hustling to wholeness with brand strategy. And today, um, I'm going to talk about going from performance to clarity, right? So I think a lot of us are used to overperforming and overachieving in order to prove our worth, right? And it's not that it's a bad thing, right? There's all these like rubrics to life. We're raised in like schools, we're raised in churches, we're raised in families where there is this standard of like good that we have to accomplish to be considered good as well, right? So, performance is definitely a very normal, real, and right thing. But one of the things that happens is when we get out on our own and we start building our own things, we still kind of rely on that same kind of performance to guide whether or not we're on the right track. Um, and sometimes that's just labor, right? Sometimes you're doing so much work because you are used to doing work. The work is what saved you. The work has always been the thing that has made you valuable, um, to yourself, to other people, seemingly, right? Everyone celebrates an A. Everyone celebrates when you do a um, a good job on something. So you have performance. But when you're starting something, or even when you're growing something, right? There kind of isn't the same level of external celebration. And and now you have to determine what's actually important and worth celebrating, and also how to like high five yourself along the way. So now the scary part that we have to get into is determining determining what our own rubric is, what our own like yardstick actually looks like. This is where you have to slow down and say, hey, things are messy, things are unclear, but it doesn't mean that I'm actually failing. Like things being messy and unclear and weird is really just a part of the work of discovery, the work of cleaning it up. There's no need to clean up a mess if there is no mess. There's no need to have a solution for something if there is no problem, right? Like if you've started a business, obviously you are solving for something, right? It doesn't mean that other people have problems and you don't have problems and you get to be the hero for everybody else. It means that you get to see your problems, right? You get to see the things that are actually holding you back and keeping you from the life that you really want to live. So there might be bumps in your performance because now you are revealing the things that are blocking you from your aspirations as well. Crazy. Very annoying. Extremely annoying. Because if you're not taking the time to make sure that, like, hey, so even before kind of like delving into clarity, like, are you supported? Right? Are you supported is a huge and very real question. Who is your community around what you're doing? Who is going to listen to you when you're like, dude, I'm scared and I actually don't know what I'm doing? And they might not even have a solution for you. The likely, the likely, yeah, the likelihood is that they don't have a solution for you. Oftentimes, people don't have a solution, but they have encouragement, right? They can help you to be brave. So, literally, encouragement is to give someone else courage or to remind them of their courage, right? I don't like this. What is happening over here? To remind them of their courage, um, and help them to kind of like continue on. Your community needs to be reminding you of the bigger picture, the courage that you have to start something new, right? If you're starting something new, you are bringing something new into the world, probably entirely. Even if you're doing a business that other people have done over and over again, like it is new because it is you. And your version of this thing has never existed in life before. So it does shake up the system. It absolutely has the potential to shake up the system and make you feel like, oh man, like I don't have the capability, I don't have the capacity, like I have emptiness when this thing is calling for so much more than what I have. The point of the business, the point of life in general is to collect. So it is to collect new understandings of ourselves every single day. Because here's the funny thing about life: none of us have actually done it before. None of us are going to live yesterday again, and we've never lived tomorrow, right? So it's always kind of like a new cumulative experience. So you're always gaining if you are willing to keep gaining. If you are stuck in the fact that something hurt before and you make that like the map of your life, whatever past pain you had. If you make your past pain the map of your life, you're going to continuously relive that past pain instead of taking some information from it, learning, and then doing something different, right? Like you're going to you're going to experience a lot of confusion and pain because you've just never been here before. And that's okay. You need good practices of soothing. You need good practices of community. You need good practices of continuous education, right? Like some people will be like, I haven't read a book since high school. First of all, that's crazy because, like, you graduated college. What did you do? This is a real conversation. Um, but but learning education doesn't end with institutions. Education continues because you are the institution and you have to honor the fact that you need to continue growing. So you have to keep learning. You have to keep actually putting something into yourself so you have new ways to view life every single day. You are one person. So your perspective is myopic at best, right? So if you reach out for education from other people who have also been here only one time, then you get to have new perspective. You get to grow and shift and change, and you get to live a better life, right? So there's that. I think that was like a slight tangent from what I was thinking, but at the same time, I think it was maybe necessary for even me to hear, right? Like we're only here one time. We're only here now, right? So like not even just like the we're only here one time. We're only here now, in the here and now, which means we have just not experienced a lot of things and we are continuously experiencing things and we have to be okay with that and like roll with the punches and continue to gather new information and learn how to be different every single day. Like it's good. So because so many of us are stuck in the I'm going to call it the A plus trap. So many of us that are stuck in the A plus trap. We know that we can show up. We know that we can perform. We know that we can like do the things that are like really good. Um, but then we start freaking out because there's no rubric. There's like no rule books. There's just like nothing that we have to go by because we're building the thing. Congratulations. We have to slow down. And this is scary for a lot of people. Slowing down for so many people feels like risk because wherever you exist in whatever hierarchy you are thinking about, social, whatever, sometimes slowing down can feel like, oh no, I am making myself available to other people to actually hurt me because if I don't have money made, right? If I don't continue to look educated and perform education, right? If I don't make sure that everything for everyone around me is absolutely all right, there's always this risk, and that's just hypervigilance, good times. There's always this risk that something bad is going to happen, and your brain, because it can't tell the difference between emotional pain and physical pain, your brain's like, oh my gosh, we're going to die all the time. So you keep moving in performance. You keep moving for the A plus. You keep moving to actually show that you are good and you are likable and you are deserving of being kept safe, right? So performance becomes the move. But you're building something. So you actually have to slow down and define what's going on. Like, you actually have to define, in the words of my homegirl, what good looks like, right? Because they're like, you need to figure out where your values lie, where you need to put your energy in the day, where you need to invest yourself into yourself, and then where you can invest into other people and into the work that you provide for other people, right? Because if we're so used to being graded by other people and performance reviewed by other people, we're going to just kind of let them run us ragged because people are just people. So they're going to pull you toward their needs, right? The work that they might not even be doing for themselves. They're going to pull you toward their needs so you can solve their problems in the ways that they think their problems should be solved. Now, if anybody is in marketing, heck, if you're in business at all, you know that sometimes people don't actually know the real solution to their problems. And they're just going based off of what they think would feel good in the moment versus what the real solution actually is. So people will drag you into oblivion if you allow them to, if your performance and you're being graded on your performance is really the thing that you're like basing your life off of. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. You have to slow down long enough to define, well, what is important to me? What are my mission, vision, and values, right? And then see where everything else aligns with that. And then you figure out, okay, what does good performance for me look like according to those things, according to the vision that I have and the things that I'm looking to build, right? And then you get to have your own rubric, your own KPIs, your own OKRs, right? Whatever way you're measuring your thing and whatever acronym you want to use, you actually get to determine what that clarity looks like. But you have to slow down long enough to assess what worked and what didn't work, what you actually want and what you really care about, and also what you're here to actually produce in this life, right? So being able to use those things as your own um measuring stick, like, it makes a difference. So there's some unlearning. There is some unlearning in this, right? There's some unlearning in perfectionism. There's unlearning how to be relatable, right? And I think that one hit me the other day, kind of hard. Like, you want other people to like you. So you go for relatability, whatever that means for that moment. And sometimes the best thing you can do is be unrelatable. Because if you're relatable, you probably already look like the problems that they have right now. And you probably already look like the solutions that they've tried already. Like, being unrelatable means you bring something else to the conversation that invites someone who is willing to change to come and change. But if you are relatable all the time, and this isn't to say that, like, let me just be a jerk, like, let me be mean to other people and say I know the solutions and you don't know the solutions, or whatever, right? The point is, like, you don't have to fall to people's, like, expectations. You don't have to fall to someone else's, like, grading guidelines. You can actually, like, live a life where you continuously learn how to and then execute on raising the bar for yourself. because that's what this life is for. Learning how to raise the bar for yourself. And sometimes that's not relatable to other people. Sometimes people really just want to stay where they are, and that's cool. That's not your audience. Be with people who want to continue doing, the work of growth. That's just what that is. So don't think about I think that was reductive. I think I was going to say something that was reductive. I was going to say, don't think about the things that other people are thinking about you. But that is reductive because it makes it seem like you can just turn it on and off with ease. And the reality is you can't. It is a process to unlearn. It is a process to renew your mind, right? Because renewing your mind is moving your body and your habits and your literal neural pathways into a place where you can make different decisions, not based on the instinct of what you've previously already done, right? But carving out new areas to make decisions. My therapist years ago, she said, if we think about neural pathways like a river, or just like an etching that could become a river. And if you pour water in there, let's say water is someone's behavior, or water is like an impetus externally. The likelihood of going through the pathway that's like etched out is very high. But we have a chance to stop and choose to continue that way or begin etching out a new pathway. Now, does it mean that etching out a new pathway means we're automatically always going to go in that direction? Not at all. The other pathway is well worn. So when you pour the water in, the water is more likely to go that way. But when you allow yourself awareness, you can build a dam and you can decide if the water is going to go down the well-worn pathway or if it's going to go down the pathway that you're trying to create some good etching into, right? And it takes a lot. It's a practice because again, the thing that's well worn, it's easy. It's almost automatic because your body is like, oh, this is what we always do. So let's do what we always do. We haven't died yet, right? So so creating that new pathway and allowing yourself to feel the risk, having community, having enough care to feel the risk of doing something new is going to allow unlearning the performance to happen so that you can actually walk in your own clarity. Sometimes you determine what's clear for you, what's good for you, what your actual like grading guidelines are, and they're really clear to you, right? They are consciously clear to you, but you still have not developed the habits. I'm going to say habits. You still haven't developed the habits of choosing that version of yourself, choosing to let people know your boundaries, choosing to say no to that client that pays really well, but my Lord, like it's a struggle, right? Like there's still choice involved. Like clarity is one thing and clarity is important. So stepping back and creating the clarity, bravo. Seriously, I'm so proud of you. Now, acting on the clarity, acting on the clarity is going to be the next thing, practicing clarity. Before any kind of performance, you have to practice. You have practiced for years, actually, being the person that you currently are, being the person that maybe you previously were. And now you have clarity. You know what I mean? Like you have lots of practice to the point where you can do these dance moves in your sleep. Like it happens. So now you have to practice new dance moves and you have to make that replace whatever the old thing was so that you instinctively begin to move in that direction with your clarity instead of in the way that drains you, So hustling is a performance. I always say we're going from hustling to wholeness. And I love the hustle period because specifically in business, because it is a period of learning It is a period of figuring out what you like and what you don't like if you allow yourself to. If you can kind of see it out of the realm of survival and recognize that it's all education, then the hustle period can be a time where you understand better, like, oh man, this is great and this is terrible. I'm going to stay away from this, right? And the hustle period, it can't last forever because it's not meant to. It's still just a period of performance where you're kind of like doing everything for everybody else. It's like being in a grade school, right? From first grade to 12th grade. You are in that school doing what those teachers are telling you to do, and that is the performance. Like, and there is a period where you have to just perform because you are learning. Like, you are learning certain things, and that's really normal. But then there comes a point where you have to start actually activating on things you learned, questioning things you learned, and figuring out what you actually want to do in this life. And that's when we start moving toward wholeness, right? Because now you're thinking about your calling, your fulfillment, like what you actually want to bring into this world. So hustling was the it is a great time for exploration. It really is. Like hustling is when you explore, and it's beautiful and it's perfect and it is what it is supposed to be. Um, but you can move into clarity. Now, I think the thing about clarity is people hear that word and it sounds serene. Clarity sounds serene. Um, and in some ways, it brings you peace. But the action of clarity can be chaotic because again, it is a paradigm shift from the hustle, from the shuffle into something that's brand new. There are people who recognize you as the person who did the thing you previously did. You recognize yourself as the person who did the things you previously did. So there's a shakeup that happens when you are moving toward clarity, when you are actually moving in clarity for a period, and it can feel like chaos. And it's important to remember that chaos doesn't mean failure. Chaos chaos means the ground is being tilled. So I love the idea of gardening. I do not have a green thumb. They are very clearly brown, right? Like I have killed a cactus. I don't even know how I did it. My homegirl said water it every 3 weeks, and I said, okay, I don't even know. So, but I still like gardening metaphors. So if you look at a flat surface of dirt, that is not where you plant seeds, right? Not really if you want them to actually get in there and take to the soil and put down roots and, grow up nice and tall. You can put seeds on the flat surface, and of course, you're going to get a little something here or there, right? Good for those seeds. Those were great seeds. Um, but you have to introduce chaos to the ground. You have to till the ground. You have to like shake it up, move things around so that the seeds, so that the ideas, so that this new life, so that this thing that you're building can actually get down into it and then plant roots so that the roots can grow deep enough so that you can go high enough, right? It requires some chaos. Like your clarity is going to shake the ground to the point where you can plant new seeds. Are you willing to plant new seeds? Are you willing to do the labor of cultivation for those seeds to actually live and grow and do what needs to be done for the garden that you see? For the garden that you see, right? Um, because the point of a garden is to create a renewable resource, right? Like you want to create something that is feeding you, that is feeding other people, and then other people can go and feed other people because of what you've done with this garden. So none of that happens if you don't lean into the chaos of clarity and then start giving it what it needs. Start, putting the ground back in order and watering it and pruning and like all those other things that you have to do when you have a garden, right? Like that's what it looks like. So when the chaos does come, don't look at it and think that you are in the wrong place because chaos is happening. Ask yourself, what is happening? What do I need to plant in this moment? What maybe needs to be uprooted in this moment, right? The chaos isn't the failure. Stopping is the failure. Like not asking the questions, that's the failure. Not actually assessing what's going on and figuring out how to actually build the thing, like that's the failure. So don't do that. Don't do that. When the chaos comes, reach for help. Like it is okay to reach for help. One of the things that I have learned recently is that I didn't know how to reach for help. I thought I was reaching for help, and I actually wasn't. Like, reaching for help requires vulnerability to say, hey, my ground is shaken, and I'm not really sure what's going on here. Um, I think sometimes there's a hesitancy in that because we want to, again, perform. We want to appear as like put together as possible, right? Especially if you're raised in the church. There is an element of like spiritual bypassing where it's like, no, things are okay. God's got me. Because you're not really saying things are bad, or you're not really saying things are good in that like response. You're not actually saying things are good. You are telling the truth. You are saying, things are rough, but God's got me. But God. Everyone loves a but God. I love a but God. Um, but you're also not being vulnerable enough to invite the help that God's got for you. Like, there's so many resources around us. There are so many resources around us, but they require our vulnerability to tell them the transparent truth for what we need so that they can come in and they can meet those specific needs and they can help us in the areas where we have gaps, because we have gaps. That's very normal. Like it's okay. So don't bypass with your strength. Don't bypass and think you're asking for help or think you're doing the things you're supposed to do, right? Like, really allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to say, I don't have this. This is crazy and I am very confused. I am very confused so that you can get the appropriate help. You're not lazy. You're not lazy. If you don't perform in the ways that you previously used to perform, like there's nothing wrong with you. Like you're not lazy, right? I think that word gets thrown around a lot, and you're not like a procrastinator. Procrastination is hilarious because it is based in fear. It is usually, I'm gonna say it that way. It is usually based in some kind of fear that there's something you can't do. There's some way that you're not enough. There's some way that you can't show up. Like so you just hesitate to show up, right? Um, but you're not lazy. You're afraid. Like you're confused, right? Confusion is hard. So the vulnerability allays confusion from staying for the long term. And it's okay. You're safe here. Like you're safe here. Like telling people the truth is liberation. Like resting, occasionally raging, inviting people to your vulnerability, like that's liberation. That's how you get free. And that's how you stay free. Like performance doesn't get you chosen in real life, right? Performance gets you like pulled into other people's stuff so that they can do well and feel well and all those things, but it doesn't actually like fulfill you. Um and the point is really like how to choose yourself enough to make good decisions that will benefit other people, right? Like, your vulnerability will benefit other people. It makes you better. It makes your business better. It makes all of these things better. It is scary. It is really scary, but it's only scary because there's been this mythology around us showing up perfectly all the time and being a good girl and sitting quietly and making sure that, people like you and you show up looking absolutely perfect and well dressed and, you know, all of those things. And all of those things are okay, but they are okay within like a context of understanding that vulnerability and growth are just a part of life. So this is really just a call to integrity, right? To know yourself well enough that you can integrate into yourself and show up in life in a way where you're not dust, you're not disintegrated, right? When things are disintegrated, they are easy to move, they are easy to shape, they are easy to do with whatever you want someone else might want to do with them. But when you're integrated, you're solid. No one can move you when you're integrated. No one can move you when you're clear, right? When you're clear and you have that practice of understanding like what it is that you're doing and what you're bringing to this world and to this life, your life, their life, all those things. So that's all I have to say on this beautiful Wednesday. I hope you have a great day. I really do. I have a webinar coming up on June 4th. I will drop the details very soon. Until then, stay intentional and keep flourishing and have a really good Maven morning.